So what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Well, today we have a 2008 Ford Focus, and it has a severe vibration problem. Steering wheel vibrates, dashboard vibrates. Basically, in idle, it vibrates like crazy. So we have a simple fix. Both the engine mounts have gone. The car is 15 years old, so it's kind of to be expected. So we'll show you how to do this real quick. It's simple, so let's take a look. So what you end up getting is you start it up and you'll have this whole thing vibrating. Your dash will be vibrating. It is actually vibrating, but I think the anti-movement on the camera is not showing it. It's actually fluttering really bad. So let me show you how to fix this. So the ones we're after is the passenger side engine mount. This piece here, which is held by that bracket. And the transmission mount, which is down there underneath the battery tray. Once you remove the battery out of the tray, this particular model of Focus has 13mm bolts to release the battery tray. Once you remove the battery tray, there is your prize, the transmission mount. We're going to go ahead and remove that. You're going to want to get you a floor jack, and you're going to slide it right under the end of the transmission there on the driver's side. You're going to support the transmission side before you remove the bracket. So the transmission bolt itself is 21 millimeters and the frame bolts are 15 millimeter. And as you will see, you need a considerable extension to get down in there. So I'll go ahead and remove all these and we'll come back to it. Once all those bolts are removed, you'll be able to just take that right out. And you just replace it with your new one. So here's the new part. Purchased it at AutoZone. It's pretty easy to put back in there. Line it back up with the transmission stud. Slide it back on there. Get your 4 bolts put on there. And be back in business. Once you get all your bolts put back in there, you can release your jack, but you have to put the battery tray back in. Now there's a little zip tie clip that goes on here, but you always got to cut that. So the little trick that I do is I remove this and I put 2 holes. I put another hole in there and I just use a normal zip tie to put the wiring harness back on the battery tray. So there you go, little hole drilled. Now I've got a zip tie already in place to put the wiring harness back on when the battery tray is back in position. There we go, we got everything put back together. And right there is where that zip tie, where I drilled the holes, so you can see how handy that comes in. So now we'll move on to the passenger side bracket. All right, let's get to this motor mount right here. Okay, just as before, you're going to have to put a jack, floor jack up underneath the motor to support it on this side. You're going to have to remove these 2 bolts on the radiator overflow bottle and remove that. That grants you access to the bracket bolts. So once we get those 3 loose, I'll just unloose them by hand. You can see you need a considerable length of extension to get down in there. So the 3 bracket bolts are out. Now we're going to hit the 2 main motor bolts. These are 18 millimeter. We'll remove them. And every once in a while you run into that stubborn bolt thing where the stud is coming up out of the engine block. You just get you an 18 millimeter wrench. I'm using a number 8 universal. Just put it down on the star Torx head right there. Get you a socket and just work the stud by itself. The other problem you might run into is this will hit the valve cover. So you don't want to damage the valve cover. So you'll have to remove this engine stud sometimes. Not in every situation, but pull that engine stud out and you'll be able to take that right back off. Work this up out of there and we'll put the new one in. Okay, here's the new one. Here's the old one. You see this bracket here. Now I opted to save a little bit of money and buy it without this bracket. And you have to get this tab inside here and then bend it around the frame of this bracket. You see the bend? So you'll have to get that up in there and then bend it over. So we'll put this on the workbench and work on it. There you go. A little bit of finessing on the, just a little bit of hammer and a chisel or a flat bolt and get that bent right around there. Goes right on in. Let's put it back in the car. All right, once you have all those bolts back in place, go ahead and put in your water bottle again for the radiator. Get all that buttoned up, and that's it. Show is over. Go ahead and get these tightened down. And there you go. No more vibration. Problem solved. Now on the transmission one, you can see right here, it has collapsed on itself. So yeah, this one was definitely not good. And on the actual motor mount, this whole gasket's broken. The rubber's gone. So you can see where all the liquid, these are liquid filled. So it lost all its liquid. Time to replace. So good thing we did. Engine vibration gone. You don't feel it in the steering wheel. It's good to go. All right, there you go. Quick fix. Simple solution to the problem. Parts are around 35, 50 bucks in between. Depends on what you buy. If you buy the one with the bracket, it's more expensive. If you buy the Ford products, both of those will cost you around $175. I got mine from AutoZone for about half that. All right, till next time, like, share, subscribe. Don't cost nothing. Hit that button. Pappy out.